The Genesis GV80 probably won't be the large luxury SUV that's top of your wish list if you're looking at a big 5 or 7 seat crossover of this kind, but it comes with everything you could want as standard, plus it offers superb refinement, outstanding interior quality and a rather unique sales and aftercare package. As the market's newest luxury automotive brand, this Korean maker has big plans for Europe, and if you're after something a bit different in this segment, this car might just be precisely what you're looking for.
To power this car, Genesis could simply have lifted the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid powertrains that parent company Hyundai Motor Group uses in the Kia Sorento and the Hyundai Santa Fe. But no, from the launch of this GV80, customers were simply offered two conventional unelectrified units, either a straight-six 278 PS 3-litre diesel or a 304 PS 2.5-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol power plant, the one we're trying here. As expected, both are mated to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. With either engine, you can expect exceptional levels of drive refinement, and that can be aided by special noise-cancelling technology. This petrol model emits quite a potent distant roar, although you might find that mildly irritating after a while. It's reasonably swift though. It makes 62 in 7.7 seconds on the way to 147 miles an hour. For the diesel version, the figures are 7.5 seconds and 143 miles an hour. To replicate those figures, you'll have to have selected the most urgent of the three provided drive modes, Sport. The other two are Eco and Comfort. The latter best, of course, for experiencing the best that the standard electronic control suspension has to offer. Its adaptive damping effect is aided by a camera that monitors the road surface and adjusts the suspension to suit the tarmac tears and the potholes that you're about to pass over. You expect this car to be something of a luxury wafter, and sure enough, there is the rather light and woolly steering that tends to characterise this kind of big SUV. Once we got this GV80 to a few secondary roads though, we found that it actually handles better than we'd expected. What it does with the optional eLSD electronic limited slip differential fitted anyway, which is what we have here. If you have the optional Ergo Motion driver's seat fitted, a selection of the Sport mode tightens the side bolsters around you, which through the twists and turns, presumably as intended, distracts you a bit from noticing the kind of pitch and roll which afflicts all big SUVs of this size, which is not surprising because this one tips the scales at over 2,300 kilos. But likely buyers aren't people who are going to want to throw this car about. They will, though, want the latest in semi-autonomous drive tech, which of course is provided here, along with plenty of gadgets, including a self-parking system which will parallel park your GV80 for you via the remote while you're standing outside the car. That's ideal if you're trying to get into a really tight space. That's a more likely scenario than venturing off-road, but if you do want to do a thing like that in your GV80, then Genesis provides 3 terrain drive modes for that purpose: mud, snow and sand. Off-piste, you can monitor your progress via a terrain mode section of the centre dash screen, and that shows things like wheel angle, altitude and approach and departure angles. The GV80 will make a decent enough statement at the golf club. It certainly has plenty of road presence. Some even see hints of Bentley Bentayga here, especially at the front, where this imposing G-matrix front grille dominates an upright stance, which is styled around the brand's so-called two lines design language. This references these split front LED headlights. There's nothing super SUV about the overall size here though. The 4,945mm length actually places this Korean contender somewhere between a BMW X5 and an Audi Q7 in terms of pavement footprint. Let's take a look inside. Once you've got used to the classical piano-like jingle which accompanies entry, don't worry, you can turn that off. One of the first things you notice is this simply enormous 14.5-inch central screen. Then you take in the wide centre console with its curious white central rotary infotainment controller and the horizontal vent that stretches from the instrument binnacle to the passenger door. You sit commandingly and it certainly feels very premium with high quality materials and an almost Bentley-like knurled finish to some items of switchgear. Lots of effort's been made to push this cabin up market. The soft touch dash with its white double stitching, and the brushed metal finish around the rotary gear selector, and door cards with delicately fashioned speaker vents. Quite a lot that you'd really want though requires top spec trim and or costs extra. This leather upholstery, the real wood interior trim, and the ventilated ergo motion driver's seat, for example. You'll also pay more for this 12.3-inch instrument binnacle screen with its smart 3D graphics. Without that, you get an 8-inch display. The screen changes in colour according to the selected drive mode, turquoise in eco, bronze in comfort and grey in sport. Let's take a look in the second row. The big doors open nice and wide to reveal a spacious rear bench which slides and reclines, although you have to pay extra for a powered operation. These rear quarter-light windows make it feel light and airy, and you could fit 3 adults across the back here without much trouble, thanks to this very low central transmission tunnel. Let's finish with a look out back. Now, once the powered tailgate rises, you won't find quite as much cargo space as you'd have in the back of a competing Land Rover Discovery, but it is a match for what you'd get in an Audi Q7 or a Volvo XC90. With this 5-seat model, there's a 735-litre boot, which is more than you'll get in a BMW X5 or a Mercedes GLE. It'd be 727 litres in the 7-seat version with the third row chairs folded. Now, with everything flat, there's 2,152 litres of capacity in this 5-seat model, or 2,144 in the 7-seater. You won't be expecting a large, heavy SUV like this to be particularly economical, and this one isn't. WLTP rated combined cycle fuel economy for the diesel is rated at between 31.5 and 33.1 miles per gallon. The CO2 figure for the diesel is up to 220 grams per kilometre, and that puts this variant in a 37% BIK tax band. For this 2.5-litre petrol version, the economy figures are 25.3 to 26.1 mpg with a CO2 reading of up to 241 grams per kilometre. Insurance for the diesel, that's rated at either 46D or 48D, depending on trim. For this petrol version, it's grouped 45D to 47D. Every Genesis is covered by a 5-year care plan, which includes scheduled servicing for 5 years or 50,000 miles. With each service visit, your Genesis will be collected and returned to your door. This also applies to any necessary work required, including warranty work. You simply contact your Genesis personal assistant to make that happen. They can also arrange a courtesy car. To appreciate the GV80, you'll have to be someone who defines driving enjoyment in terms of a lowering rather than a raising of the heart rate. But if you do, then there's lots to like here, particularly if you happen to find the styling distinctive. In a few years' time, it'll be strange to think that we even doubted that Korea could bring us a credible premium automotive brand, and Genesis will be the reason why.